this time, I would like to bring up a very special lady who has taken over this conference after Ariel Hunter Chris, who this conference is named after. Not only did she take her place in terms of being the Director of Continuing Education here at Tarrant County College South Campus, she also picked up the torch with this conference and has moved forward with it most diligently. And at this time, I would certainly like to introduce none other than Miss Alicia Jones. And she is coming with our purpose this morning.
Good morning. Mr. Piper has such nice things to say. I have no check for him. I do want to thank you all for coming out to the Ariel Hunter Chris African American Professional Conference. If you notice on your printed material, this is the 9th annual conference. So it is my desire to see this conference at least reach its 10th anniversary. So I want to take this opportunity while I'm standing here, because normally I'm all over the place, to thank the Advisory Council. I don't know if Mr. Piper has already recognized them, but I'm only one person. And so it takes those members of the Advisory Council, members of my staff, and then others who volunteer, students that come in and help out and put things together that make this conference a great success. The overall purpose of this conference is to give business professionals, community leaders, emerging professionals, which is a group that we try to target, that would be our students, because it's important for them to learn these quality skills and strategies while they're still in college. So the purpose of this conference is to give all those individuals the skills that they need in order to meet the challenges in their communities and within their business and within their personal lives and their roles this morning. Okay, Fay Fleming, if you've been to the conference before, you've seen her face, you've seen her smile, you've gleaned from her words of wisdom, and I hope that you are looking forward to hearing from Fay again. She's always been involved with the conference, and I know I have a set bio that I'm supposed to read, but she brings such an energy to this conference, and she challenges us every year to elevate it. That's why you see the balloon towers on the stage. She didn't want a plain stage. So we try something new every year, and it's all that Fay's request in her recommendation. But introducing this year's conference opener, Fay Fleming, with more than 15 years of senior level business experience, Fay has expertise in training, research, and marketing. Clients include Edward Jones, General Motors, Procter & Gamble, AT&T, Church's Chicken, Johnson's & Johnson's, and many others. A featured speaker at national and international conferences, Fay currently focuses on issues related to employee and organizational success. Her topics: playing to win, the 6 unwritten rules, strategically promoting the brand called you, and sealing the deal, the art of negotiation, addresses the needs of new hires, high achievers, managers, and business owners. Fay is a former business newspaper columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and the St. Louis Business Journal. She also served as a columnist for a travel magazine and is a frequent guest on radio and TV. And now for our opening act, Ms. Fay Fleming.
Oh, We got fired through the workshops, we got fired through the speakers, and we just need you to get involved with us and ignite your life, your career, and all the things that you're doing that are important to you. Before I get started, can I have a round of applause for my fireman, Ariel? I want to simply start today by sharing with you a simple poem. And it is this: God's got a plan. It's a Broadway play, and I am the leading lady. It's a new movement sweeping the country, and I'm in charge. It's a grand musical, and I'm singing the featured song. God's got a plan. It's the World Series, and I'm throwing the first pitch of the game. It's an award-winning drama, and I'm key to the plot unfolding. I do not want my beliefs to delay that plan. God's got a plan for my life. It is not a one-night stand. It is not a flimsy plan. It is not a frivolous plan that lacks purpose. It is a well-thought-out, intentional plan, orchestrated just for me. I do not want my fear to stall God's plan for me. God's got a plan for my life. It's a special role with me in mind. It has a peculiar plot with lots of twists and turns. It's got a beginning, a middle, and an ending written just for me to play. God's got a plan for my life, and I don't want to miss it. It's a sitcom with lots of laughs, and I'm the center of attention. It's a spectacular plan written with me in mind. I do not want my thoughts to destroy this plan. God's got a plan for my life, and I don't want to miss it. God has a plan for me that he's revealing act by act, day by day, moment by moment. I don't want to play a role every now and then. I don't want to be on plan with God only when it suits me, or just when I understand the plan, just when I agree with the plan, just when it's convenient for me to work the plan, or just when the plan is unfolding just the way I think it should. And I do not want my actions in my life to frustrate this plan. God has a plan for your life and mine. Don't miss it. My name is Fay Fleming, and I approve this message. So now what I'd like to do is, see, this is a two-part comedy act. Now what I'd like to do is to bring a special treat for you. We have a mime performance presented by All in Dance Worship Arts Academy. The Academy was founded and directed by Neville Mathis in 2005. It is a faith-based program, and the Dance Academy offers classes for children and adults. It's located in North Dallas. For performances and classes, you can pick up business cards at the registration desk. And now, your special conference treat, All in Dance Academy. Can we have a round of applause again for our dancers? We want to take just a couple of minutes so you can hear from Nebula herself about the Academy and the special treat she brought you today. Neville?
Thank you, Fay. My name is Nebula Bivens. I am the owner of Divine Elegance, Divine Design LLC. All in Dance Worship Arts Academy is an umbrella company, Fine Arts Academy, underneath Deed LLC. And today, with preparing this presentation, Ignite. And a lot of times, I know as business owners, as students of life in general, that sometimes it's hard. So we have to continue to hold on to what we have, to our visions, and to continue to press forward. So with my dance program and my fine arts program, because we also offer drama, music theory, and we tie all those elements of the arts together with movement. So, therefore, if you need any information about our classes, whether for yourself, for a relative, either or, please contact myself. You can get my card at the registration table, and I'll be happy to come out or talk to you more about my program. Because if you want true refinement, it first starts inside of here, inside yourself. And so today, I challenge you, I push you. Let's hit the switch together and just ignite. God bless you.
Okay, if you're not feeling the heat, at this point, I need you to get up and stomp your feet a little bit because we are turning up the heat to ignite you today. At this time, I'm going to introduce our opening speaker, Miss Gyna Bivens. Gyna M. Thank you for the applause. Gyna Bivens. Gyna M. Bivens serves as President and Executive Director of North Texas Leaders and Executives Advocating Diversity, simply known as LEAD. This CEO-created organization connects major employers with college degree experienced professionals. More than 600 LEAD candidates have found employment as engineers, attorneys, financial professionals, human resources experts, and many other professions. Gyna has worked in radio, television, and corporate America before entering the world of nonprofits. She was, in fact, the first African-American full-time reporter and anchor in Lubbock when she accepted a position at KCBD TV. However, one of her most proud moments came when she was trusted to handle media credentialing for a president's visit. After 4 years as the city's public information manager, she returned to her hometown of Fort Worth and found herself back at the very first radio station. Funny how life makes you make circles sometimes. After working at KKDA and KRLD, she was hired to run the Fort Worth Bureau of Channel 4 Fox 4 station. Gyna has served on more than 30 municipal and civic boards and commissions, and again was the first African American to chair the Fort Worth Transportation Authority. Personally, she's an avid gardener, growing melons, carrots, tomatoes, and foot-long cucumbers. I would like to see a foot-long cucumber. All right. Please now welcome to the stage Miss Gyna Bivens.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? I am just so glad to be here again for this exciting day that should have you excited, but more importantly, ignited. Because my background is so varied, I always ask people, what do you want me to talk about? And you never know. But I'm going to share my journey with you, And I hope if any of you plug into that in any way, you know that there is something bigger than you, something bigger than about you, that you have to do before you leave this earth. I don't like the idea that people just sit around and take in oxygen. That's pretty selfish, in my opinion. You have to be able to change somebody's life to know that you were here for more than just hanging out. Does that make sense? Right now, I'm out of breath because I just left our Mayor Betsy Price, where she and I co-chaired a breakfast in Stop 6. It's called the Brighter Outlook. And it's a nonprofit that's changing the Stop 6 community through service. But service can be very, very different depending on what you want to do. Now, how many of you want me to talk about what you need to do to find a job? Who wants to hear about finding employment or finding that next level? Okay. No, don't make nobody do it, Drew. They may not be ready. That just narrows down my topics. And because of no hands on that, I get a chance to talk about what I've always loved since my days as a reporter, and that being getting you involved in the city, the county, the communities where you live. There used to be a time when if there was a meeting in a community, you might have one person saying, y'all come, y'all come. Now, people pay their property taxes, and even though you may not own a home, you're paying taxes one way or another here, and I want you to get your fair share. How many of you live with your parents here? Okay, I see a few hands. How many of you live on campus? There's no campus here, okay. How many of you own your own homes? Good, I'm so glad to see that, because you're paying property taxes. And what that means is somebody else is deciding what to do with your property tax dollar. Now I'm gonna tell you something. If I'm gonna put money off into an operation, I'm sure going to have my say. What you don't know is my latest adventure that I started on more than a year ago is I serve on the 4th Ward City Council. And I've had the darndest time getting people to get engaged. But I went back to my media skills, and before you knew it, we had more engagement from District 5 than any other district. We put in a bond package back in May. Anybody vote on the arena here recently? Okay, it's a good thing, it won't cost you anything. Anybody vote on the bond package last year? It went through, yeah, thank you. Is that AJ up there? Come on down here. Okay, okay. Anyway, what happens is, when I realized people just didn't want to come to a meeting, we started harassing folk with robocalls. Because the robocall meant you're going to pick up the phone, and I was going to say, hi, I'm Councilwoman Gyna Bivens, and we're going to have a meeting on public art in Stop 6. That's going to happen tomorrow. And before you knew it, we started having greater turnouts because people knew that we wanted them to get engaged. How many of you have been to a city council meeting in 2014? Thank you. Okay, I think I saw fewer than 10 hands. How many of you have been to a school board meeting in 2014? Should be more. Okay. How many of you have been to a TCC board meeting? Let's see. There's something not right about that. If you all go to school here, if you work here, if you have connections here, you're invested in TCC. I encourage you to get involved. But let me tell you some things that have happened, and maybe you can plug into the reason why engagement is so important. I live in Stop 6, but I haven't always lived in Stop 6. I moved away from my first job in TV in Lubbock and then TV in San Antonio. When I moved back here, I saw my neighborhood of Stop 6 in total decay, complete decay. I saw people walking around with 40 ounces. I saw gangbangers wearing red and blue. And there were places in my neighborhood that I grew up in I didn't dare go anymore because things were pretty much in turmoil. This was back in the late 80s when I moved back. The gangs had taken over. And for a while, I would say, somebody ought to do something. Somebody should do something. And before you knew it, my council member at the time, Frank Moss, put me on a board. And the first board I served on was the Fort Worth Transportation Authority. And that authority was created in 1983. It's the bus, the train, the TRE. That was my first taste of getting engaged, but it took some type of dissatisfaction on my part to make that happen. Well, fast forward to 2013. I'm driving around my same neighborhood, and I looked at this Dairy Queen. Now, for those of you who don't know Stop 6, we used to have a Dairy Queen at Stall Cup and Berry. Anybody know where that is? Okay. Well, that Dairy Queen burnt down, I think, in 1985. And in 2013, it was still standing. That's called blight. That's called laziness. That's called irresponsibility. That's called neglect. That's called lack of regard. Because why should something that's burned down years ago, but not totally burned down, just still standing there? And so I drove around, looked at my neighborhood, and saw things I didn't like seeing. And that's what propelled me to run for Fort Worth City Council. Now, I later found out that there were people who knew me who thought I felt entitled that I wouldn't work for it. But State Representative Ramon Romero told me, he said, Gyna, you worked for it. People didn't think you would. I worked for it because I care about my community. And so what we're doing now in Stop 6, just so you know, we're ignited in Stop 6. We're tearing down boarded up buildings. We're bulldozing houses where people don't take care of them anymore. If you drive down any street in District 5 and you see green grass and no building, I probably had it demolished, okay? I love taking down blight because District 5 has more land available for development than any other district. But how can we get developers to come if we don't clean up? And so we're cleaning up now. And what's happening is District 5 goes all the way to DFW Airport. Did you all know that? Most people didn't. The most exciting residential development is taking place in my district right now up Trinity Boulevard. Do y'all know what Trinity Boulevard is? Well, that's District 5. And so Ken Newell, who is my favorite developer of the year, is finishing out his next phase of Trinity Lakes. That's going to help our property values, but he had to have a passion to want to make that happen. In the meantime, your chancellor decided to move north. And so she bought, for the college district, the old Bell helicopter facility. I'm sure you guys know that. How that impacts my district is, Bell helicopter came back to Hearst Boulevard in Fort Worth. They never left there, but everybody is there now. That's their global headquarters in my district, District 5. And because of the homes that Ken is building, I'll have more sales tax revenue putting in the coffer for District 5. What's going to happen is we're going to have a grocery store in District 5. That's my belief. We'll have the numbers to do that. But it took people wanting to be engaged. Now, the next level of engagement involves something that I know McEwen is involved with. That being, we on the council, we want to see high-speed rail. Now, yesterday we had a discussion on rail service. How many of you have ever ridden the Trinity Railway Express? Thank you, thank you. I like seeing more hands. I had the pleasure of being the chair when we brought that train into downtown Fort Worth. But the city, we see the need for high-speed rail. Your voices. And so you're going to have to get engaged if you want that to happen. Is Andre in here right now? That's your contact for public transportation. Tell him what you want to see in terms of high-speed rail. And just because you want it doesn't mean he can make it happen. But he can at least say we have people who have an audience who want to see high-speed rail come. Thank you, Andre. In terms of back to, that's yes, please clap for him. Andre is not only a leader here, he has history here through his dad's presence at this college many years ago. When it comes to being ignited, I just want to see you do something. I just want to see you do something. Now, how many of you are involved in organizations that help people, whether it's through tutoring? How many? Okay. Are you tracking those people to see how you really impact them? I'll tell you why I asked that. I was a member of a group called the Links Incorporated, and we were helping girls who lived in Cabell, but before I took over programming, we didn't know if we were having a positive impact or not. That's important because if you're going to be spending your time somewhere, you have to make an impact. To make an impact, you have to get ignited. Now you guys, this may be the first session of the day, but I hope as the day moves on, you'll find something that gives you your calling. I know what my calling is. My calling has always been to communicate to people whatever happens with their taxpayers' dollars, even before city council. I always volunteered to cover City Hall, whether I was in Dallas, Lubbock, San Antonio, even at KKDA, who didn't even pay me to cover City Hall. But I always had this yearning to let people know how to get involved. That's my calling. My challenge to you is, what is your calling? What's your calling? You know, what is it that you would do even if you didn't get paid? What is it that you would do if you were underpaid, but you kept on doing it anyway because you knew it was in you to do this? I can look around and see whose lives I'm having an impact on. And that's because of me being ignited, as you say. My question to you is, who can you look at? Just think about it. Who can you look at to see what impact you're having on people that is positive, that is productive? If you don't have a good count of that, you got enough time to rev it up and start over, and you can listen to TD Jakes every morning at 6:30. He'll give you some ideas. But seriously, who are you impacting? Now, I can tell you who Merville Johnson is impacting, and he would do this even if it wasn't through his employer. Merville has a group called, what's it called, Merville? Fathers?
Fathers and children together.
I love hearing Merville talk about that because he shows how they work with young fathers, or fathers period, help them get positioned for employment, get their lives on track. He would do that even if he wasn't getting paid. So what is it? Is there anything that you would do even if you didn't get paid, didn't get a grade, didn't get recognized? What is it that you would do? If there's nothing, I challenge you, find that calling. And I hope that I've said something to you that inspires you to at least look at your soul, see what's all in there. There's got to be something in there other than whatever your next goal is. And with that, Joe, do we have time for questions? Yes. Any questions? Y'all. You know,
Did you tell them about Lee?
Oh, I forgot. No, that was why I was at the breakfast a while ago. What my day job is, because I certainly can't pay my bills off of the city council pay, North Texas Lead is a nonprofit that was started back in 2001 by former Mayor Ken Barr and some leaders of big companies here in Fort Worth, and they hired me in 2006. And what we do is help people find jobs. Now, one of our candidates is your chief financial officer. It's Mark McClendon. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to meet Mr. McClendon. If you have not, be prepared for a long conversation. He's the only financial guy who talks a lot. But Mark McClendon is a lead candidate. He came through our process. We got him from Houston. We have a Six Sigma black belt, at TCC. I think his name is Harden. And so if you know anyone who's looking for employment and they have experience, we don't do entry level, they have experience, have them come through Lead. We don't find the job for you. We position you for the job. We connect you, with the job. Robert, thank you so much for reminding me of how I pay my bills. So with that, I'm going to take my seat. And thank you for inviting me this morning. It's a lot different than before, and I'm just glad that it's still going on. Thank you.